Good afternoon, students. Welcome to 6th standard social revision class. Students, today we are going to revise in geography unit 1 resources. Okay. First we have to read the match the following. We have to read the answer straight away. Okay. First one, natural resources. For natural resources, the answer is forest. Forest is the natural resources. Second one, international resource. International resource, the answer is ambergris. Third one, reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce, reuse, recycle. For this, sustainable development is the answer. Fourth one, non-renewable. Non-renewable, the answer is minerals. Next one, universal resource. Universal resource is air. Air is the universal resource because air is present in everywhere. Next one, secondary activities. Secondary activities, the answer is manufacturing. Okay. Next one, fill in the blanks. Sugarcane is processed to make dash. Sugarcane is processed to make sugar. Second one, conservation of resources is dash use of resources. So, conservation of resources is careful use of resources. Third one, resources which are confined to certain regions are called dash. Localized resources. Localized resources means, children, local means a particular place. A particular place, what are all the minerals present? For example, KGF. We know KGF. So, in that particular place, gold is present. And another example, Neyveli. In Neyveli, coal is present. Coal, C-O-A-L. So, coal is present there. So, that is the localized. In that place, a particular mineral is present. That is called localized resources. Okay. Next, fourth one, dash resources are being used in the present. Actual resources are being used in the present. Okay. Next, fifth one, dash resources are the most valuable resources. What resources, children? Human resources. Among all the resources, human is the best resource. Okay. A valuable resource. Next, sixth one, collection of resources directly from nature is called dash. Primary activities. Collection of resources directly from nature is called dash. Primary activities. Okay. Next one, write short notes on the following. We have to write a short notes about the some headings. First one, renewable resources. First question, renewable resources. Resources once consumed can be renewed with the passage of time are called renewable resources. So, what is renewable resources, children? Renewable resources once consumed can be renewed with the passage of time are called renewable resources. Examples, air, water, sunlight. Next one, human resources. Human resources are groups of individuals who use nature to create more resources. Though human beings are basically natural resources, we classify human beings separately. Next, third question, individual resources. Based on ownership, resources can be classified into individual resources, community owned resources, national resources, and international resources. Second point, individual resources are resources privately owned by individuals. Example, apartments. Fourth one, tertiary activities. Tertiary activities are basically concerned with the distribution of primary and secondary products through a system of transport and trade. Example, banking, trade, and communications. Next one, give brief answers for the following. What are resources? Resource is anything that fulfills human needs. So, resources means resource is anything that fulfills human needs. When anything is of some use, it becomes valuable. All resources have value. Second point, the value can be either commercial or non-commercial. Second question, what are actual resources? Actual resources are resources that are being used and the quantity available is known. Example, coal mining at Neyveli Lignite Corporation. Next, third question, define abiotic resources. Abiotic resources are non-living things. Land, water, air, and minerals are abiotic resources. Next, fourth question, what is sustainable development? Development is necessary without affecting the needs of the future generations. If the present needs of resources are met and the conserving of resources for the future are balanced, we call it sustainable development. Next one, give short answers for the following questions. First question, differentiate universal and localized resources. Universal resources. Universal resources are present everywhere. So everywhere means all where, all place. Okay. So universal resources are present everywhere. Example, sunlight and air. Localized resources are present in specific particular regions. Example, minerals. Okay. Next one, though human beings are natural resources, why are they classified separately? First point, though human beings are basically natural resources, we classify human beings separately. Second point, education, health, knowledge, and skill have made them valuable resources. Example, doctors, scientists, and teachers. Okay, next one, compare national and international resources. National resources are resources within the political boundaries and oceanic area of a country. Example, tropical forest regions of India. Next one, international resources are all oceanic resources found in the open ocean. Resources found in the region can be utilized only after an international agreement. Example, ambergris. Ambergris. Okay. Next one. What is the difference between man-made resources and human resources? Man-made resources. Natural resources are modified or processed by technology into man-made resources. Example, sugar can process to get sugar. Another side, human resources are groups of individuals who use nature to create more resources. Through human beings are basically natural resources, we classify human beings separately. Third point, All structures built by man can also be called man-made resources. Another side, education, health, knowledge and skill have made them a valuable resource. Example, bridges, houses, road. Another side, for example of human resources, doctors, teachers, scientists. Okay. Next question, fifth one. Write the Gandhian thought on conservation of resources. So, about conservation of resources, what Gandhiji said. Okay. Mahatma Gandhi blamed human beings for depletion of resources because of over exploitation of resources, unlimited needs of human beings. So, conservation is very important. Next one, give detailed answers for the following questions. First question, how are natural resources classified? Explain any three with examples. Natural resources can be classified into different groups depending on origin, development, renewability, distribution, ownership, etc. Now we are going to read one by one on the basis of origin. On the basis of origin, resources can be classified into biotic and abiotic resources. All living resources are biotic resources. Plants, animals, and other microorganisms are biotic resources. Abiotic resources are non living things. Land, water, air, and minerals are abiotic resources. Second point, on the basis of development. Based on the level of development, resources can be divided into actual and potential resources. Actual resources are resources that are being used and the quantity available is known. Example, coal mining at Neyveli. Second point, potential resources are resources that are not being used in the present and its quantity and location are not known. Example, wind energy. Next, third one, on the basis of distribution. On the basis of distribution, resources can be classified into localized resources and universal resources. When resources are present in specific regions, they are called localized resources. Example, minerals. Last point, some resources are present everywhere. Such resources are called universal resources. Example, sunlight and air. Sunlight and air is present everywhere. Next, second question, how can resources be conserved? Careful use of resources is called conservation of resources. Wisely using resources can control the depleting ratios. Development is necessary without affecting the needs of the future generations. If the present needs of resources are met and the conserving of resources for the future are balanced, we call it sustainable development. Fifth point, sustainable development can take place when the reasons of depletion are identified, wastage and excess consumption is prevented, reusable resources are recycled, pollution is prevented, environment is protected, natural vegetation and wildlife are preserved, alternative resources are used. The easiest way to conserve resources is to follow the 3 R's is reduce, reuse and recycle. Okay, next one, what is resource planning and why is it necessary? Resource planning is a technique or skill of proper utilization of resources Resource planning is necessary because resources are limited. Their planning is quite necessary so that we can use them properly and at the same time we can save them for future generation. Okay, thank you children.